Glorious. So sweet.
Yeah, I'm convinced drinking my own urine would be that refreshing, no matter how many noises you make about it.
That was what my teacher said at school. I've told you this. I must have told you this story before about my teacher at school. Who we walked in one day. It was like an English lesson. He was an English teacher. We walked in, and
am I going to have to Is this some kind of historic police matter, or is this
No, I don't think it was ever reported. So I don't think there's any legal guidelines. But now I thought I'd tell the world. But yeah, walked in, and there was just looked like a pint on the screen, the interactive whiteboard. And we all sat down, and he kind of had his hands
how posh was your school that they had interactive whiteboards when you were a kid?
What are you trying to say?
Well, they only got them in my school when I was in year 11. They only got them installed then.
They kind of had them all plugged in. But anyway.
How old were you at this point?
I was 11 at this point.
Yeah, it sounds like you went to a posh school.
Give or take, I had to, scrounge from a bacon sandwich every day, but it was
so 1983 they had.
Yes, that's correct.
Whiteboards.
That's correct. Yes, that's how long ago it was. But yeah, there's a picture of a pint on the screen that was yellow, and we were like, we're talking about beer today. Obviously, as an 11-year-old, we're all talking about beers all the time.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And he kind of had his hands clasped together, kind of like Mr. Burns, with the fingers.
I can't believe we've got to do this, and then I've got to do my mailbag nonsense before we get into any music at all.
I'll get to the point. Basically,
I am very invested in this nonsense anecdote. I'm just worried that the listeners at home might feel it's a bit much to have two of these before we get into the music.
Basically, what happened is he leaned forward and he goes, "Urine," and we're like. And obviously 11-year-olds, we've lost the plot there. We're like... and he goes, "Do you know that drinking your own urine is good for your metabolism?" And we're there like, "Sorry, what?" And he just proceeded for the next 45 minutes to talk about why drinking urine was a good thing. And then at the end went, "So that's all about persuasion. And our lesson today is going to be about learning how to persuade." 45 minutes.
Bizarre sort of secret agent school were you in?
45 minutes of piss, which also is a good way to describe this show. Welcome to another week
of 45 minutes. It's like a double lesson. When you had a double and they gave you that 5-minute break in the middle, they were like, should we just push through and finish a bit early? And everyone's there like, please, no more about piss. Both
barrels of piss coming at you once again. Welcome to Downward Pouring. It's me. It's Jamie. I forgot my name there for a second.
And I'm Jake. Later on, we are joined by the wonderful Pixey, so please stay tuned in for that, or at least tune back in for that. It's much better than the rest of the show.
Yeah,
we got a lot of good stuff coming up, though, haven't we, Jamie?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some music news, tracks coming out of the week, tweets, and we're gonna look in depth at South by Southwest, which was a few weekends ago, a weekend and a bit ago. But the way that our show's time. This is actually the latest, the earliest that we can get. So,
this is closer to next year's South by Southwest anyway, so it's a more useful review.
Yeah, pre-order
Be fresher
your
in your mind
now. Yeah, exactly.
Or don't. You haven't had the review yet, so
good.
Stay tuned.
But tune in later. But yeah, we're going to talk all about that. But
now,
Jake,
I actually had something I wanted to ask you. You know how in boxes of cereal they used to have a toy in them?
Yes. Yeah.
Why don't they do that anymore?
Was it like a choking hazard? I feel like that's
this
one
is
of those
what
things.
I thought, right?
Yeah.
But I went to the Kellogg's factory last weekend, did a big walk, It still counts as local exercise if you start at your door. So did a really big walk to the Kellogg's factory, which I think might be in mainland Europe. But obviously a swim in the middle there. And I got there and I hammered on the door and I said, "Kellogg's, let me in and explain your toy policy to me."
Yeah.
And the door opened and there was no one inside. And I went in.
Yeah.
And inside there was a man at the desk, right? And I said to him, "Sorry, I was just wondering why there aren't any toys in your cereal anymore." And the man opened his mouth, right? but it kept opening wider and wider and wider, and cornflakes were just pouring out of his mouth, right? And he just sort of deflated until he was just this pile of cornflakes, right? And I was sifting through these cornflakes,
He's
and
not spoken for years because you just knew this would happen.
yeah, exactly. I'm sifting through these cornflakes trying to find the essence of this man, right? Trying to find whatever was him, you know? Yeah, it was really bad. And plus, cornflakes are disgusting, so I didn't even eat any. So I was going through.
Sorry, what? Pause. Sorry, what? In case you'd seen this man basically disintegrate into cornflakes in front of your eyes, and you've just gone, I might have a little. It's quite a nice cornflake.
Well, every sausage used to be a pig, Jamie.
Oh God, pig's fingers.
Exactly, right? Yeah, I'm sifting through, and I haven't found anything. I've just found cornflakes, just loads and loads of cornflakes. And then over the tannoy, there comes this voice, and it says, "This is Mr. Kellogg's. Please dispose of the cornflake man in the second drawer down on the left-hand side of the desk." So I open the drawer, and inside it's one of those scoops you get for like pick and mix.
Yeah.
And I just had to scoop the man in, shovel by shovel. And I swear, these cornflakes, I can hear a sort of scream,
going on.
like an agonising scream coming from these cornflakes. Because they used to be a man.
This is fucking horrifying. Sorry, what is this? You're talking about a man who just threw himself up in cornflakes and he's screaming, and you're in a factory.
Rice Krispies
what do you find?
snap, crackle and pop, right? That's actually just out of the bones.
What happened to them? What happened to the Cocoa Pops monkey? We don't know.
Exactly. So I shovel them in, and I keep thinking that they're not all going to fit, horrible. Right? But they compact down and they compact down when they're in there. And I close the drawer, right?
Yeah.
And over the tannoy it says, "Now open the drawer again." And I open it, and it's just one single Rice Krispie square in there. And I said, but weren't these cornflakes beforehand, right? And over the tannoy, the man says, "Oh my God, you've discovered our secret that all our cereals are the same." And he comes downstairs, and he looks exactly like Colonel Sanders, right? But he's got a big cornflake instead of a head. And he just hands over.
Horrifying.
He just hands over. Jamie, please let me finish. He just hands over this cereal box,
right?
And it says on the front, "Free toy" inside, right? And I open it up, and I'm going through all of the different cereals. It's full of all the different Kellogg cereals, all of them. It's like mixing up a variety pack.
From the guy with what a cornflake for a head. Anyway, continue.
You had sunglasses on as well.
Sorry. Yeah, just want to make sure that detail's out there. That really calmed the listener.
And the toy inside was actually this tiny little pouch.
Right. Yeah.
And I opened that up, and you'll never guess what it was.
What was it? Fucking, I don't know.
It was the Dork mailbag.
Oh, was it really?
It was.
Was it fucking really? That is the fucking most unhinged one so far. Guy fucking disintegrated into cornflakes, screams coming from the cornflakes. Mr. Kellogg has a cornflake for a head.
Is it less or more worrying that I didn't have any of that planned before I started talking?
You need to talk to someone very quickly. And unfortunately, you're with me for the next hour and a half.
Well, should we break up with some mailbag questions?
Well,
then?
If you've got to that extent, I feel like you must have made some questions.
The first one is actually written on a Wheato. I don't know if you had a Wheato for a while. They might have discontinued those. So this Wheato is from Jamie from Bedford. Same name as you. That's spooky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Spookiest thing that's happened on the show so far, I say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jamie from Bedford says, "Hi, Dork. What's better, forests or beaches?"
Ooh, good question. I've spent a lot more time recently walking around forests and woods. I think that's just what everyone's relatively been doing because we've got nothing else to do and the pubs are shut, and we are reminded of that every single day. But I'll go with beaches. Beaches are nice, aren't they? That you're going there for a nice time. The sea's there. There's, it's an occasion to go. I mean, but I'm someone who grew up in like South London, so maybe that's why it's a bit more of an occasion.
Yeah, see, this is
I don't know about
interesting,
you,
right?
Jake,
Because I grew up on the coast, so for me,
Yeah.
forests are more novel than beaches.
No, because it's like
I enjoy a beach, but it's good, right? For me, for a beach to be properly good, it's got to have that kind of Cornwall vibe of like rock pools and stuff. I like an area where there's enough wildlife that you can sort of prod, or at least look at. Like a rock pool, you can prod a starfish, and in a forest, you can look at a pigeon or a woodpecker.
Yeah. So it's more about what you're used to, I guess. So if you're used to surroundings of beaches or used to surroundings of forest, that will obviously change your vibe, if you will.
Exactly. Speaking of beaches, congratulations to Black Honey on your number 7 album.
Yes.
Jamie and I were there doing an album live stream, which I'm sure all the listeners tuned into. I think it's available on YouTube now, if not. An evening with Black Honey.
Yeah,
and they still got a number 7. That didn't even take their chances. We were worried there'd be a mass return of albums after that, but luckily there was not.
It wasn't, and number 7 in the charts. Congratulations to
Higher
Black
than
Honey.
I've ever got.
Exactly. Well, friends of the show, the magazine, everything.
Does that mean we've had a number 7 album?
I mean,
when people put up like, I've been so privileged to work on this album, and it's like a producer who's done one of the songs or something.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
We've got more
So
involvement,
privileged
I'd argue.
to work on this album.
Incredible stuff, yeah. We really pushed it over the line when we forced them all to draw one another and play Twister at a dangerous stage of the evening. But go watch it back. It's on Black Honey's Facebook,
go buy the album,
YouTube
listen
channel.
to the album. That's probably more fun. Anyway, this second question, Jamie, is actually engraved on a ricicle. Do you remember ricicles?
Yeah. Doesn't that just like the poorer version of a Rice Krispie? I felt like a ricicle.
I never had a ricicle. They had a good mascot though, didn't they? They had the sort of space rice boy.
Yeah, Mr. Space Rice Man. Yeah. Nah, not. I mean, we need.
Oh, here we go. It says, of course, right. So so ricicles were to
of course,
were to Rice Krispies what Frosties were to cornflakes. So Rice Krispies are like plain. Ricicles have a frosted sugar coating. The mascot was astronaut Captain Rick, who replaced Henry's cat, who replaced Tony Jr., who had replaced Noddy.
Noddy?
What?
Out of nowhere. Noddy.
Just Noddy.
State of it. What is the second mailbag question, Jake?
Ricicles were discontinued in 2017, so this is a very old ricicle. This is from Daniel from St Ives, and Daniel says, "Hi Dork, what's your favourite type of pastry dessert?"
Ooh. God. Pastry. So it has to be something.
Something with pastry in.
That'll be it. Does a tart count?
Well, why not? Eh?
Yeah.
Are you picking a tart?
Yeah, I like a tart. I like a tart for dessert, if you will.
That's
nice
your
jam
favourite pastry.
It's quite nice. Dessert pastry, yeah. I mean, like you have like your morning pastries.
Yeah.
I for a dessert, jam tart, lemon tart, also.
Just one of the little ones that you used to get.
Yeah, it's a little fella.
So you could have picked like an apple crumble or something, and you've gone with a little shitty tart.
Yeah, I like the tart. It's quite nice. It's sweet.
You like a tart? Jesus, Jamie.
Sweet
Keep
like
it
me.
PG.
Woohoo! What about you, Jake? What's your vibe?
Well, of course, it's an apple strudel, the only choice, isn't it?
Clearly the only choice.
Yeah.
I hope that's answered your question.
Justice for the strudel.
As it's known. Do you know what doesn't need justice? Music news. Because it reigns
Please
supreme.
send in your letters, guys.
Yeah, we're always
Please.
here. Please. Let's start music news.
Jamie, why don't we go on to music news now? What do you reckon?
Easy Life have announced details
God, I wish.
of a hotly anticipated debut album that's
Hooray!
coming this summer. It's good. It's called, interestingly enough, Life's a Beach, Not a Forest. So we know where their
To
allegiance is
clarify,
like.
it's called Life's a Beach. It's not called Life's a Beach, Not a Forest.
Yeah, if you're searching for that, you're going to struggle. It's out 4th of June, and yeah, it's been it's a weird one with kind of like obviously bands putting out debut albums now, because it definitely feels like they were going to do that last year and they've had to like hold things off. So obviously it's hotly anticipated, but that's mainly just because they've probably just held it until now, because now we're looking promising, things are opening up. So yeah, Life's a Beach is out 4th of June, and they previewed it with the opening track on the album, which is called A Message to Myself, which is a very sweet song. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Like a strudel.
Kind of like a strudel, but it's like a strudel that its pastry isn't just contained to the strudel. The strudel opens up and it welcomes you into the pastry.
Like that man opened up and welcomed you into the Kellogg's factory.
Well, maybe not like that. I think it was a bit nicer than that, I'll be frank with you. Just
spurting out cream and apple.
Horrible. The album, he's going to be spurting out nothing. It's a PG show, Jake Cox. The album's going to include Daydreams and Nightmares, which obviously we've heard before, and they sound great. And this song sounds great. A very sweet song about, believing in yourself. And also a really nice video as well, which features animated Murray with a
which
fish.
We can't show because it's a radio show.
Thank you for clarifying, Jake. I appreciate it. Anytime.
If you were made of pastry and filled with strudel, how long do you think before you burst?
Wasn't the idea that it fills to the brim?
No, but I mean, how long until the pastry gets soggy and starts to,
got to be
it's like an hour, isn't it?
Yeah. I was going to say a couple of days, but
couple of days.
I don't know.
A couple of days of cream pushing on your skin, trying to get out.
It doesn't expand. It's not like
but it's there. It's wetting.
It's not like you put it in the fridge and then you turn around and the fridge is like. You know what I mean?
But the cream and the apple are sort of wetting the pastry.
Oh, let us wet your ears.
Here's a message to myself.
I don't want to deal with nobody else. I don't want another premature farewell. Please don't smoke yourself to death. Don't wait until nothing's left in the fridge, mate. Life is way too short. We can't waste time. There's no time like the present. Finally accomplished something. Finally learned my lesson. All you have to do is look within. Stay focused.
What a lovely track. That's a nice way to start the week. Sorry about the 15 minutes before. That's just ruined everyone's day. Jake, do you have it?
Yes, I have some news. I do. Yeah. Brockhampton. Sorry, I was so excited that I forgot how to speak. Brockhampton, the world's best boy band, biggest boy band. I can't even remember what they call themselves.
Yeah.
The rap collective, basically. Yeah. Brockhampton have announced their new album with a lovely track featuring Danny Brown, which is really good. It's a really good pairing, actually. It's not one I'd thought of before, but it does make perfect sense because they're both a bit kind of oddball. They don't fit into that mainstream rap thing.
Yeah.
And it's just a really good, fun song. I'm really looking forward to the record as well. Although, there were those 3 albums, the Saturation trilogy, which were all, phenomenal. And then I think everyone just got a bit burnt out with Brockhampton because it was just so much good music all at once.
Going on so quickly, yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool that there's been a bit of a break now. It's called Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine is the name of the new album.
Ooh,
it's exciting.
Nice.
Yeah.
I hope Wile E. Coyote has been informed. Yes. One for the Looney Tunes heads in the chat.
And anyone familiar with Wile E. Coyote.
Of course, famously.
Most of us. But yeah, the last album came out in 2019, so a little bit of a break fun that they've got Danny Brown. I am looking forward to this. I think Brockhampton are a weird one as well because there's so many of them. When they get the feature in, it almost feels a bit gratuitous. But I think this one really, really works well. Also, Danny Brown's good fun, isn't he? Lovely bloke.
Yeah. Yeah, good laugh, good fun. And yeah, it's good to have Brockhampton back. I think, like you say, that break weirdly has, I think, helped them a little bit, just having that, having that bit of space. And looking forward to the album. And yeah, this tune does absolutely rip, as they say.
It's a buzzer, isn't it? That's what people say, maybe. Buzz Cut featuring Danny Brown by Brockhampton.
Say shit to get these motherfuckers. Ain't out for your incels, normies ain't a part of the script. Back your house with crips, pop shit. Now you got content, constant. Where to begin? A veteran with medicine pen. Let them all in, treat them like they next to my kin. Checking your chin, way before the record begin. Niggas blow it out of smoke like they breath in the wind. Ain't no pretend, tell you how it is, how it go. What do you know? When you start escaping yourself, right on the street.
Glorious.
Jamie, have you got any news about felt frogs?
I just want to flag right now. I've been waiting to drop something like this into this show since the beginning. And I'm delighted to say that I can now bring it to you in news, which is everyone's leading cultural figure. Kermit the Frog. Big news in Kermit's world.
The frog, the legend.
The icon. The amphibian with the Philibbians. Kermit the Frog. Rainbow Connection, the big banger, is going to be enshrined in the Library of Congress in the US. Huge news here. Basically...
huge news,
huge news.
For you.
The Library of Congress in the US basically is like a Hall of Fame, if you will. And they
it's music that they deem like culturally worthy of preservation. So it's music that has had an impact outside of the musical realm or is considered really big within music. So it's music of historical importance. So it doesn't matter if it's even if it's a really good song, it might not be deemed worthy. Whereas Kermit, he's been deemed worthy.
It's an impact on the world, And just want to put in context, the other recordings that have gone in include Nas's album Illmatic, Celebration by Kool and the Gang, and obviously Rainbow Connection by Kermit the Frog. Incredible scenes.
It's great
this is
as
like
well,
sort
I
of thing...
think, with this kind of thing, to see hip-hop get accepted. The three hip-hop titans of Nas. Can't even remember the second one, and Kermit the Frog.
Glad to see them all welcomed in.
Yeah.
This is the idea that
Kermit's shows used to get locked down all the time,
Famously.
They said, we don't want your banjo here. We don't want your frog stuff.
It ain't safe on the block, not even for a frog, as they say.
Frog.
There's a little bit of context. The Library of Congress has said that the
song's context for you.
Plaintive message about dreams and their fulfillment remains enduring. I completely agree. We've also got a comment from the frog himself. Kermit has commented.
Said, I'm not real. No! Write whatever you want.
Calm down. It is, it's an amazing feeling to officially become...
He's still speaking in that sort of 80s stereotypical rap lingo.
It's an amazing feeling to officially become part of our nation's history. It's a great honour, and I am thrilled. I am thrilled! It's said twice.
A thrilled frog. He's thrilled.
To be the first frog on the list.
Kermit the Frog is actually a founding member of Wu-Tang Clan.
RZA, all the jazz.
You just kid. That's not one of them.
That's Kermit, isn't it?
Oh, right, Kizza.
Yeah.
I think, right, GZA from Wu-Tang Clan really got shafted when RZA said that he was called RZA, because it makes GZA look like he's called Jizza. Like RZA is pronounced RZA, and then GZA is like no, it's just GZA. Like, come on, mate.
You're like, well,
Have a
I'm
word.
not sure about that, mate.
And
your
Kizza,
mate over
of
there.
course.
Yeah.
We're off topic. Kermit is doing bits, and we're very happy for him.
Yes, it's good to see this song be honoured. This song makes me cry, so I'm going to cry during this. This is probably the greatest song we're ever going to play on this show.
We played Jerusalem once.
This is Kermit the Frog with Rainbow Connection, and following that...
Is there a Kermit that isn't a frog? Why is he called Kermit the Frog? Why isn't he just called Kermit?
Maybe there's a, legal battle going on with someone else called Kermit. Pixey will be joining us after this, following on from, I can't believe I said it, Rainbow Connection by Kermit the Frog.
Someday we'll find it, the Rainbow Connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell. We know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep? And have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls?
Wonderful stuff, Jake. From one moment of music news to another.
One moment to another. One thing to another thing.
As you can, you're really selling it, aren't I? Here, falling apart quickly. But we are joined now, Jake, by official 5-star artist. We're not messing about on this show. Please welcome in Pixey. Pixey, welcome aboard. How are we? How are things?
Sounds good. That was a boss intro. Thank you so much.
As you can tell, we try and really work them up as much as possible. Usually, I mean that's probably that's an enthusiastic one, is it, Jake?
I think so. The worse we are, the better you look. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Hold up to the sides. Hold up to the sides. How are things in general with you? How is life? Obviously, we're in quite the week. Your new EP out, Free to Live in Colour. How does it feel that it's out in the world?
Yeah, it feels like pretty. It sounds like such a generic answer. Like feels pretty bad. It's a long time coming. Like it does. Like literally, like it does feel mad that it's finally out there in the world. I feel like the last year has just been me hyping it up. I don't know how to describe it. Like when something, it's kind of like having a baby, innit? Like where you're just pregnant for ages and the hype's massive, and then you have
I know
the
that
baby.
feeling.
Yeah, we do. We know exactly. Yeah, that.
I remember my first kid. Yeah.
The show.
9
is
months
our
I was
child.
carrying that around.
Yeah, the show is our child, and we've let it. I mean, we've let it do many
It's like
things.
a baby that sounds a lot better, and
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
likes instead of just the parents.
Well, I hope everyone likes it. I mean,
I hope so.
Well, we
I
gave
hope
it 5 stars, so
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that was sick. That was so sick.
There you
I'm
go.
so pleased.
This is it. We've done it. It must be, I guess, as well, like you say, kind of a lot of build up to it and a lot of anticipation. You're like, I know it's coming, but it's like, it's just like releasing track after track. And it's like finally getting there. Is there like a little bit of weird relief putting it out as well? It's like, right, it's finally out there now. I don't have to keep thinking about it all the time.
Yeah, I think it's just like, I don't know. I always liked the bit before. Like I always I like the hype, and then when it's out, I get quite nervous because I'm like, oh my god, like I've been sitting on that for a whole year. There's a whole year's worth of hype, and then like, then everyone's just to be like, meh. Now, that's like, do you know what that feels like? That is just like the most gutting feeling. Not that it's happened, but it's just like it's a mad like expectation of, and then you always have this expectation that like you're gonna wake up and it's got like 4 million plays like overnight, and
You look at your phone,
wow.
you're like, oh Jesus, what's happened there?
Yeah, literally. But like, I mean, it was just. I'm so pleased to have it out. It feels boss that people can finally hear these because I wrote these tracks when I was unsigned, so it's quite nice for people to. I never thought anyone would hear them, because my first EP that I released it on my own, and I mean, it did something, but let's be honest, there's only so much one person can do. So when this one came out, it had a full sort of manpower behind it, so it felt like proper. So the pressure was a bit higher, but I'm still equally as excited to release it.
Yeah, and what's it kind of been like as well with, like you're saying, obviously putting out your first EP kind of by yourself, very much oh, here it is kind of thing, and putting it out to the world by yourself, and then I guess over the past year as well, everything changing and all these things happening, and kind of being able to create videos and be doing all this stuff as well. What's it been like, I guess, over the past year? Has it been, quite surreal, I guess, in places?
Well, yeah, because not only did I get signed, there was a global pandemic all at the same time.
Oh yeah,
no way.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I haven't looked outside in a few months. Are you sure?
Our only source of news is each other.
But imagine though, not only is there, I find out the world is ending, but it's by the way, you're getting signed this shit. It's the most annoying juxtapositions. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know how I kind of made sense of it all, but somehow it just felt kind of right. So I'm still going with it. Hopefully it gets even
I
better.
think getting signed is going to be weird no matter when it happens. So maybe it's good that it happened in a really weird time. Sort of have it all at once.
Yeah, may as well. May as well literally just fuck my complete brain up. Not only was it just unsigned for ages, but throw that at me. That's fine. Throw coronavirus. Yeah, why not? I can deal with that.
Yeah, why not? While I'm here, might as well give it a go. God, what's it been like as well? Seeing the reaction, we've talked about it a little bit, but the reaction to the music coming out and seeing, I guess, people, I don't know, kind of discover you and everything like that, and people are obviously really loving the music coming out. Has that been, what's that been like as well? And has that kind of almost had an impact on you in a lot of ways?
Yeah, it's been really it's been proper overwhelming, because for the longest time I was only writing for myself, and it felt, I'm not gonna lie, it felt proper shit. It was weird. It was a juxtaposition of I've always loved the production side of music the most, more so than performing or anything. I love doing that, but my favorite thing to do is to sit and just bang out a tune and produce it myself. That's what I enjoy. And when quarantine came around first time, it was the perfect opportunity for me to get better at it. So I just literally spent every day doing it. But then when I never thought anyone was going to hear that. So when it got released and then it started getting playlisted on Spotify, which I hadn't had for my last EP, that was so surreal. To see for this time I used to log on to my Spotify for artists and it would say 2 people listening. I'd be oh my god, that's amazing. 2 people. Fuck yeah. And then now I log on and it's 60 people and I'm oh, bit of a bad day. Crazy how it changes your perspective. But yeah, it's fucking it's so overwhelming.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I guess as well, it must be almost, a continuation of what you've been doing from the very beginning, and now being able to, as well, to, I guess, have more freedom to do many different things that maybe you wouldn't have been able to do before. Is that what you've been able to find that you have now with this added attention and kind of with things kind of really rolling along? Does it feel like you have the freedom to do more and more now?
Yeah, I think part of that freedom comes with the creative control I have on my tracks. I really like having that. I don't like it when it's taken away from me, and that's why I like producing a lot of my own stuff. And with the time that I've had since I got signed, I've had the time to get better. So that gives me, honestly, that gives you the most freedom in the world, because you don't have to rely on John
Someone
Johnson,
else.
fucking in South London. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying
Johnson.
The big man John in South London.
You don't know
Fucking all up.
My guy, John Johnson.
Well, when you have that control, even if everything closes down, you can still just get on your gear and just make something boss, which is what I've been doing, hopefully.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I guess has there been certain artists that you've kind of, maybe over the past year as well, do you see the amount of time that you've had as well influence kind of what you're creating? Like, is it a case where you've had more time to listen to more stuff, or are you someone who kind of doesn't actually listen to a huge amount of other new music, or like what kind of things have you been listening to as well? And do you think that's had an impact as well?
You know what's dead funny is I'm one of those really annoying people who just like has my Apple iTunes library from like 2007, and I just dip into that. Sometimes I'll go on like my Spotify and stuff like that and have a look at me, new tracks. But I'm scared of like change. I'm like I have like a vigorous routine of stuff I listen to, like specific albums and like specific moods. It's really anal. But I think like I do like listening to music. A lot of the times I get my mates to sort of like send me over the odd tune or whatever, and like I'll be like, oh, Belty, I'll put that on my new music. But like I'm a creature of habit. I just love like listening to any old stuff. It's really bad.
What's your most played then in your iTunes library?
iTunes library.
What do you have?
I don't know, I'm gonna get it up and see. It's such an atrocious mixture of songs.
Have you got one of those where like you've never deleted anything from it, so it is literally just like hundreds and thousands of songs, and some of them being like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, literally. This is how old it is. AWOL Nation are on here. Remember that song Sail? That's the first track I'm looking at. Craig David, amazing. Yeah, what else? Britney Spears.
Straight in.
This sounds good to me.
Eclectic mix of tunes. Oh, Cher. Oh no!
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Jesus Christ!
Maybe not. Maybe not that.
Maybe not. That is not something I listen to on a daily basis. Cut it out. No, yeah, some great ones. So Courtney Barnett, she's one of the ones I always go to. I love. Sometimes I sit things. Sometimes I just sit as one of my favourites. I listen to that. War on Drugs is another one that I listen to. Anything that sounds the opposite of my music, I love listening to.
You're like, I've heard enough of this stuff. I heard enough of this stuff. I do it all the time. I don't need to hear anything else. I don't need anything else like this. My God. You mentioned Britney Spears, and I see obviously on your Twitter you've gone the handle with the indie Britney Spears. I just want to know, will you be making that into T-shirts anytime soon?
Oh, man, I hope so. Someone say I should get tattooed.
What's along the arm?
Along the arm.
Just get it in script writing around your collarbone. Like that sort of.
So tasteful,
thing.
Yeah. Definitely.
So arty.
Yeah. Avant-garde.
This is it. These are the ideas. These are the ideas that we've got.
Brittany, if you're listening, we're happy to have you on the show. Obviously,
yeah,
of course.
I follow her on Instagram. I hope that she responds to me someday.
Come on, Brittany, follow back for God's sake. Jesus.
If we all message now, let's see if we get a response by the end of our recording. It's gonna. I mean, you never know. Maybe she'll be like, yeah, great tunes.
To be fair, you never know, because I mentioned Beck in my story once. Right, and then he replied to my story, and he was like, "Thank you so much." And I was like, Beck just like popped up on my messages, and I was like, "No, that's not real." So I clicked on it, and then I put, "Haha, thanks, la," or something like that. And he read it, and he didn't reply. I was like,
right? Do you know Fat Man Scoop? Right. You're aware of Fat Man Scoop. You got a $50 bill, put your hands up. That guy. He was at festival, and me and a mate were walking past. And it was really muddy, and I just filmed my mate kicking mud around. And I tagged Fat Man Scoop, and he replied, "Powerful moment with praying hands."
What, kicking mud about?
Yeah, powerful moment, apparently.
I expect anything less from Fat Man Scoop, would you?
little insight.
Just looking through it, like, I'm glad I reached someone.
Yeah, of course.
So maybe Beck's the same, he's looking through, he's like, glad to still reach people, but I don't want to have a conversation.
Did you mention him? Is that why he responded?
Yeah, I mentioned him because he was playing in the back. He was like on stage in the background, just like screaming.
Jake, I wasn't talking about.
Look, she's already said she mentioned Beck. If you were listening, Jamie, you'd know that. That's why I assumed you were talking to me. Come on, mate.
Come flying in with Fat Man Scoop.
We'd already had Beck,
Oh God. Well, collaboration with Beck coming soon.
Or Fat Man Scoop.
Or Fat Man Batman scoop. Depending how the next few months go. Let's see how it is. Oh God. What we'll do is we're going to take a short break to compose ourselves and to obviously reach out to Britney Spears. Let's have a listen to one of your tracks, Pixie. Let's have a listen to the Mersey line. Any slight, I guess, like behind the music on the Mersey line? What's it all about?
Yeah, so everyone thinks it's about the friggin' Mersey rail, but it's not.
About trains.
Literally, they think it's me writing about the train line, but it's not. It's about the beautiful Mersey path along the side of the River Mersey.
Oh, lovely. So
Yeah,
no,
a lot more
no trains.
scenic.
Yeah, get fined on the Mersey line. Bad for fines. That's what they called it.
Fines on the Mersey line. This is fines on the. No, it's not. This is the Mersey line by Pixie.
Well, I know that I can be a little hard at times. Think it's only in my nature. I'm not out of line. If you give me one more shot, I'll show you. I can shine up and living in the shadows of the Mersey line.
There we go. Banging
Really
track.
evokes that feeling of paying £20 or twice the fare to the next destination, whichever's greater, doesn't it?
Has anyone ever been caught or fined on train before? I know I have.
I haven't, but I realise now as an adult that it definitely would have been cheaper to just take my chances and take the occasional fine, because you only have to do like 10 journeys for it to be worth it without getting fined, and I like those odds.
That's true.
It's
Plus,
just
if you ever jump the train as an adult, it's so much easier because they assume that you're not that petty, but I definitely am. Like if you're a kid, they're like, "Have you paid?" As an adult, you're like, "Come on, look at me. Of course I've paid. I'm a human being." But you haven't paid.
with your business garms on.
Yeah,
So
me
you're
getting
saying-
on in a full shirt and tie just so I don't get fined.
Oh God above. Obviously, shout out trains if they do want to
Shout out
sponsor.
trains.
If they do want to
Yes.
sponsor the show, Pixie, are you open to sponsorship as well?
Yeah,
we can make
go
it
ahead.
happen. Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on. Why not?
Pixie X trains.
Yeah.
It's free.
Just all trains.
So, yeah, worldwide.
We'll take it. Jake, it's now come to that time where we play a game, and Pixie, I hope you're ready for this one. Jake, do you want to give us a little bit more information on what we're about to do here?
Yes. So
Laugh already.
So we had a look through, and we thought that the easiest song to build a game around was "Just Move." Why have you left me with this, Jamie? It was
I've
Just
handed
Move.
this. I've handed this one over.
We thought that you, as a person who's written a song called "Just Move," would have real insight into finding the perfect home. So we're going to ask you a few different scenarios, and what we want to know is: does this sound like something that you'd be willing to put up with in a home, or would you just move, presumably on the Mersey line to somewhere else? Does that about cover it, Jamie?
Yeah, so let's play Right, Just Move, as it's
Don't
been
explain
shortened
it.
to. I won't. Should I start? I'll
Go
I'll start. So, picture the scene, Pixie. You've got somewhere nice and cheap, like a nice and cheap, flat, nice cheap place. But next door is a group of people who listen to incredibly loud techno all night, every night. Do you move or do you stay?
Well, to be fair, I used to live underneath somebody who used to listen to techno a lot, like all through the night, and I don't mind it. I mean, sometimes if you want a little bit of a jump around in your gaff, and they got good taste in music, why not? Other nights, just put your earplugs in. That's the sound of me. I would just stay.
You choose to stay. Do you think it's the taste of techno that would really
as long
sway
as
it?
it's good techno.
So it's good techno. If it's like, I don't know, like shit techno.
I don't think I could differentiate Nothing against techno. I just think I'm so
Here we go.
uninformed that I'd just be like, is this good? It's so far outside of my comfort zone. Just feel like, I mean, it's definitely techno, probably.
Would it be every night, or would it just be the odd night?
It's all night, every night. Is
Yeah.
the name.
Maybe like one day off a month.
Yeah, we'll give you that.
Fuck, nah, actually, maybe not. Maybe I would just
Maybe not. It's the frequency, not even necessarily the quality. Understandable. Jake,
Yep,
what
so
next?
you move into a lovely new house, but it turns out that 15 cats already live there, and you speak to the landlord and they say, I'm sorry, but the contract says that those cats can't be removed. Do you stay or do you just move?
Oh, so hard.
It's a good question, to be honest. I really.
Yeah. Realistically.
Yeah, well, bear in mind
Um,
as well, this is a house, this isn't just flat. There's ample room. There's just
Yeah.
a lot of cats.
I suppose.
15.
Are they rabbits? Are they like
No, they're
strays?
like, I think they're like house trained to an extent, but there's a lot of hair around, and they probably fight
Oh.
occasionally. And at least one of them's definitely an arsehole, like with that ratio.
Yeah. Of course, that's the majority. The thing with cats is like, I love cats, but I don't love cats. Like I love my cat, but I don't love like other cats.
Yeah, you want a reasonable amount of cats,
Yeah,
not
like,
15.
yeah, nah, I'm opting out there. 15's just a bit too many for me.
Fair enough. What's your cat's name, by the way?
I thought you were going to say, what's your cat limit? 15's too many. 14? 12? What if we take away 3?
How would that work? Oh, God.
Oh god! No, the cat's name is Boo Boo. I didn't know that.
Sensational.
Incredible.
Sensational name.
Yeah.
Yeah, real artistic one, I can
Is
feel
that
that.
short for anything? Or,
No.
Boo Boo and Stein, maybe?
I beg your pardon, what?
I don't know what to say to that.
Boo Boo Nathan?
So, no, we're not going to get incredible stuff. I'll move on to our next
God, you're
situation.
picky, aren't you? No techno all night, no 15 cats.
But yeah, it is. Imagine if they were all in the same gaff and you just had 15 cats and just techno contemplating.
Maybe
Would
the
you
cats
like
love
that?
techno.
Maybe they do. Maybe that's why they're there. Maybe
I
it's the same
think if
thing.
you've already got one of those two, like, fuck it, throw the other one in. Like, I'm already miserable,
Oh, God. Our next one.
Yeah,
is-
Jamie, this one that you've got for us, I think, is pretty realistic, unlike the other two. So,
Yeah, I've brought it back to reality with this one.
Okay.
So you're living in the countryside, nice open fields, all that. But the entire town that you're living in is run by cows. Do you,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you
I've heard of this one
stay?
before.
or do you just move? It's a tricky one.
Oh, mate, I don't know if I can say this one. I mean, this is a pretty fucking hard question, that.
Is this the hardest question? Is this the hardest question you've been asked?
I think there's a lot of factors involved for me.
So the parish council will be run by cows.
Yeah, so this is the thing for me. I would like to know where the nearest non-cow run supermarket is and whether the cows would be offended if I used it.
Do you know what? This is so, like, not answering your question, but all I can think of is just moo. And I don't know.
Well, you could record that version of it. It would probably go down the storm at the local village hall.
Yeah.
I don't know what this. Just move. Oh God! If that is not a T-shirt soon,
That's making laugh and laugh.
How niche would that T-shirt be? You need to explain this to them. Yeah, so it was a question about whether I would live in a town run by cows. So that's obviously why the T-shirt exists. Do you want to buy one?
Why not? Many factors in this. Yeah. So I guess it's what I also want to, I guess, maybe think about. It's run by cows, but does that mean it's only cows there?
Yeah, and what are the cows doing? Like, I imagine a lot of the facilities would be kind of geared towards cows, not people.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, if it's cows, isn't it? Like, they're gonna have the best interests at heart, and they don't care about me. Like, they're just fucking worried about what are they?
They
What
can
do
be
they like?
friendly
Grass?
cows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
they do love
yeah.
grass. They fucking love it.
Can they talk in that?
I guess they can communicate, but
Communicate.
Oh,
Oh, God.
it's too easy. It's too easy.
Yeah, I am milking this one, but
Oh, mate.
Stop.
Just man, that took me a proper minute to get that as well. I was like, okay.
So yeah, you're surrounded by. I mean, yeah, run by cows. The cow's best interest. I mean, I guess a good point is: do you like cows in general?
I don't drink milk, so probably be spooked there, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
well, I think if you like cows, you don't drink like if you don't drink milk, it's not because you hate cows,
no,
right?
No, I don't. No, but I do dislike cows. Cows, like on a dog. I don't like cows. I don't like cows because I got chased by one when I was a kid in a field. Because I grew up like in a kind of quite a rural area, and he went into this field. But if there's a cow in there, you just know like it's gonna be you or them. Do you know what I mean? So like you're walking through and like, you're looking at each other and you're like, are you gonna or are you not? And he looked at me and he was like, and he starts charging, and then all of his mates are like, get on that. So they all start fucking running behind him and like belting it towards the side of the thing. And like fucking full of so much mud. And then I like hurled myself over this barbed wire fence. Really hard.
Thing is, once a cow gets moving,
cows.
there's a lot of cow as well. That's a big animal.
Yeah, and I'm tiny. I'm like 5 foot. So you can imagine, like,
Sorry, I
20
don't think
feet
if you were
massive
another
cow.
foot taller, it would have been fine.
Hey, nah,
It weighs about a ton.
They say like, isn't that what or is it with bears? If you stand and like still and big,
make yourself look bigger.
Is that not for cows as well?
I don't think so.
know.
No, maybe.
Could
maybe.
be.
Maybe.
My
Never tried
girlfriend's
it.
mum is from rural Ireland, and she once said, "You know what they say: never turn your back on a cow."
I would agree with that.
She did later admit that wasn't what they said. That was just something that she had said. But I think the
I love the
sentiment
collective
remains.
they. So
Yeah, you know what they say.
They, in general. I didn't realise we would be unearthing such a horrendous memory for you,
Well,
Pixie.
here is a point here,
Bad
though,
memory.
because if you choose to move away from Cowtown, are they going to be offended and hold a grudge?
I don't care because they already came for me.
Yeah, that's true. It can't get any worse.
Can't go anywhere.
Can't get any worse. I think that is a strong just move, isn't it? The moo again. Jake,
Yes.
what's next?
So you relocate to central London, and you've got a really good deal on a place, but it's got a floor-to-ceiling window on the ground floor in the living room. That means tourists can see you all day. Do you move or stay?
I have a laugh. If I was like moving to London, right? Not that I could ever afford that because I'm a musician and I don't have any money. But like, if it was in London, central London, oh, of course, yeah. And that's it. I'd be like a window, like a what's it called? Like I'd be like an attraction. I would totally like play up to that. Yeah.
Like a glass box. Like...
Yeah. Was it David Blaine who locked himself in that box?
Oh, don't get me
let
started on
be
David
there.
Blaine. This is what this flat is, maybe. It's just a fucking box on the south bank of the Thames.
I would, yeah. Take me there, I would, 100%.
You'd go for it.
Yeah.
I love that what is it? Like, however many years since David Blaine did it, it's gone from being a stunt to a really good real estate opportunity. We're looking at that going, that is good value, that is. He's so close to the tape. That's great, you know.
What's the deposit saying on that? Oh, Christ. Sensational. Good pick, good pick. I've got another one. This is more practical. You move in somewhere, but it doesn't have a fridge. Do you stay or do you just move?
Oh, can I not buy one?
I don't know how much a fridge costs. Maybe there's no space for the fridge in the flat. Like, you know, like
Okay.
fridges have to have their own like fridge alcove, don't they?
Oh, right, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
see,
lived somewhere where the fridge was in the living room, and that was really weird.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's not what. So what? You just lean by the TV and you pick out.
No, like practically it was fine. It was just on the other side. Like it was basically by the door to the kitchen, but it was just something really deeply unsettling about it. You walk into the living room and you're like, that's not going to be there. Like, that's wrong.
They couldn't just put the fridge in the kitchen.
No space. Tiny kitchen.
So maybe it's a similar place here, Pixie.
Yes, this place we've just made up. Maybe it is.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Well, like, I've got a thing about, like, sharing. I don't like sharing. And if I didn't have a fridge, I'd have to share a fridge. Or, like, a bathroom. I don't enjoy that.
Yeah.
But I can just live off, like, dried crackers. So maybe it would be Sam.
Maybe it'd be fine.
If it was a boss gap, I'd say, yeah. And then just, like, if I was rich enough to just order me food in every day, so I wouldn't need a fridge.
It's true. This is true. Yeah, it's a way around it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's either that or the crackers.
Plus, you wouldn't feel guilty about getting a takeaway every night. You'd be like, I have no choice.
Yeah,
You're forced into a situation.
Such a hard life.
A good choice. Jake, another one.
This one. Well, I'm just going to go. You move in somewhere, but your landlord is a grizzly bear, and you have to pay the rent in whole fresh salmon caught from a nearby river. Do you stay?
Fuck that. I have a literal absolute fear of bears, and I don't know why. They terrify the shit out of me. I hate bears. I have nightmares about, like, being attacked by, like, a brown grizzly bear all the time.
Do you have nightmares about renting prime real estate from a bear?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's even worse. Like, they're landlords anyway, never mind if it was a bear as well.
I'm imagining this bear looking exactly like a normal bear, but having a tie on.
That's what I imagine. Yeah. Doing admin on his computer and that. No, fuck that. Like, no. If he was a bear, like, that's too far for me. That's crossing the line.
I mean, I'll level with you. I didn't expect that to be a yes, but I didn't realise it would be such a passionate no.
I just want to flag with what we've managed to do in this. We've managed to bring up a horrible memory of you being chased by cows, and then we've also brought up a fear of bears.
No, literally, I don't know.
Is
why,
it just
'cause I've never
large
seen-
mammals? Like,
yeah, quite
bears
large
and
mammals.
cows. If you shave a bear, you could probably
No.
blend it in with a herd of cows, couldn't you?
No.
They're a similar sort of shape, really.
We're not shaving bears. We're not.
It's an audio podcast. I don't have a bear with me. There's no danger of me shaving a bear.
I'm truly embracing the situation, to be honest. Understandable. The bear stops it. How would you feel about the activity of paying rent by, like, catching food as well?
Fresh salmon, to be specific.
So even if it wasn't a bear, say it was just
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm not against, like, foraging food for my rent. Because, to be fair, that's more doable than me actually affording it. So why not just go out and forage for it? You know, I think I would do better off that way, you know?
Yeah, because you can save, like, the rest of your money, and you'd maybe just have to go out a few days a month, but you'd only need one.
Forage.
So
Yeah, exactly. So I could just literally just go out, you know, hunt a few salmon, hunt a few rabbits and that, and then, like, give them to my, I don't know, whoever, whatever, whatever animal is my
I'm not an expert, but I'm not sure there's that many salmon in the Mersey, so you might have to relocate.
Well, we have Mersey goldfish, so...
I'll do that. Grab a few of them, pretend it's a salmon.
Sell it off.
Yeah. Well, you've never seen a salmon before? Yeah, this is definitely a salmon.
That'll really do well. I feel like that'll really do well for your career, Pixie. Do you know Pixie? Yeah. What she does is, like, every, like, month goes to the Mersey and just, like, hunts some of the Mersey
You
goldfish.
see her swimming around with a harpoon in her mouth.
Oh God. Right, we have two more left. One. This is slightly more realistic than the last one. Only just, though. You move in somewhere, but the heating is stuck on full blast all the time. Do you stay or do you just move?
Oh yeah, I would stay. Like, I have, everyone who knows me knows that I literally crank the heating up to about like 25 degrees in the house at all times.
Yeah.
Like, I ran down my Lecky heater to its death because I just pump it out constantly. Because I'm not meant for this cold life. I always say this, like, when I get rich and famous, if I'm gonna move to, like, is it California? It's just constantly warm all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'm meant to be, and I just know it in my heart of hearts. That's
Meant to
why
be
I
in the
pump
sun.
out the. Yeah, I'm such a sun hog. Like I literally bask out there like a pig constantly because I just love it. It's so honestly, like I mean, anyone will tell you, I will run the heating up till your lucky bills are overflowing. That's me.
No,
I
actually, a
think
natural thing.
California does have bears. Just to throw that in there.
Oh. Well.
Yeah, which do you care about more, the sun or the bears?
Well, yeah, at least if I got eaten by a bear, I'd be happy because it'd be warm. You know what I mean?
There you
like
go.
here,
No.
like I caught a near fatal viral infection in Liverpool where it's cold. Like, what you don't get
Yeah,
worse than
that's
that.
true.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so I'm willing to put up with the risk of a bear for the sake of like.
Plus, what a way to go.
28.
Plus, with a bear, like you say, you can like. There's tactics, aren't there? If you make yourself look big or whatever. With a virus, what are you going to do? You can't look big for the virus, can you?
Yeah, I
Exactly.
definitely stood up in my room and was like, get off. Get back.
It's a fair balance to make. If you are gonna, to have the sun, you might have to put up with some bears. But
And actually, like, if I got killed by a bear, that would be such an interesting way to go, wouldn't it? Like Pixey
True,
killed by
yeah.
a brown bear in California. Wouldn't that be mad?
The headline there,
salmon
very
and, like-
specific about the type of bear, because that's the real story.
I like the idea, like you were about to say, like you were trying to give the salmon at the time.
Here's my rent.
Falling apart. A very fair, obviously, a very clear stay.
Yeah.
On the
Okay.
heating.
And then a final one. Thank you, by the way. This has really helped me narrow down my options for moving.
Very welcome.
You've moved into a new flat, and it all looks great. When you had a look around, it all looked perfect. But you realise when you move in that all the furniture is just a tiny bit too small for you. So, like, your legs hang off the bed. You don't quite fit comfortably on the chairs. Do you stay or do you just move?
It's really funny that you thought everything would be too small for me, because I don't think there is a piece of furniture that would be too small for me. I don't know if you've ever met me, but I'm 5 foot. There is
Well, the
no piece
furniture's
of
smaller than
furniture.
that. The bed is 4'9".
Never. Who's making this furniture? Like, what psychopath? They gotta be smaller than me.
Sorry, have you met landlords? They are capable of all evil in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. Oh God! So it's like just out of reach, like annoyingly just out of reach.
It's almost fine, but not quite.
To be fair, like, if it was a boss gaff, I'd probably not be arsed. I'd probably just put up with it. Like, not that's an interesting answer, but if everything was too big, that would annoy me. Like, if everything was just a bit too high, like it usually is. Like, if it was just a little bit too, like...
Yeah, if anything, this is novelty for you.
Yeah, that's a piece of piss. Like, everything's too small, sad. Everything's too big. That's normal life. So there you go.
So flipping it around, you're like, actually, it might be quite refreshing. More than
Probably,
anything.
yeah, more refreshing. That's exactly how I put it.
Sensational stuff. Well, I think that's truly given us a proper guide into anyone looking to rent out there.
So techno would be fine if not all the time. The floor-to-ceiling window in London seems like a bonus.
Yeah.
Not having a fridge, fine. Heating, perfect. And furniture, nice novelty.
Yeah.
Good to know. But no time for cats, cows, or bears.
Enough for that.
Never those.
Never,
True
never.
insight. For anyone out there, of course, looking to move at the moment, just bear these in mind when you're... Didn't even mean it. Didn't even mean it. Oh no. I'm afraid this unfortunately brings our time to an end.
You have to just move on.
I mean, we can keep going with the right move stuff. We can keep going for weeks, probably. But Pixey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a wonderful time. Free to Live in Colour is out now. So if you haven't listened to it, what are you doing? Really?
True.
You probably should have been listening to that instead of this.
Yeah, if you've got time for this, you've definitely
if
got
you've
time
heard this
for
and
a
haven't heard my
fantastic EP.
music, like,
What are
fucking cows and bears for you and listeners. My 5-star MVP. We are
Exactly. Come on. Sort yourselves out. Pixie, what we'll do is we obviously have to play you out to Just Move. But it's been a pleasure. We'll hopefully catch you soon. Until then, this is Just Move by Pixey.
No, so I just move. Girls they come and boys they go. They're always late. Don't get my flow. One step, lock step. Go high, go low. Take down my show and blow out my flow. Show me how you move. Don't blame it on that fire that we started. The feeling in my heart is believing I belong. So why?
Pixie has just moved out of this show. Probably for the
blown
better.
away to a house staffed by cats and owned by cows.
Well, staying well away from the bears, obviously.
Of course. You know what else is staying
insight
away from bears, Jamie?
there. What is?
New music. You know,
course it
never in human history
Of course.
has a bear made a top 10 album. Something to think about. Lacuna Common have released a new song. I think that's
Who are
flowed quite
Lacuna-
nicely.
Yeah. Who are Lacuna Common, Jake?
Not gonna
who
tell
are
you,
they?
mate.
Explain. Enjoy the track. Here it is.
They're a lovely indie band, Jamie.
Oh,
Lovely Lacuna
lovely.
Common from
Lovely.
Oxford.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go. We'll be corrected, won't we?
I apologise if not. Yeah, they're just a good fun indie band that we would all be seeing in pubs around the country if that was currently legal, but it is not. They've got an EP coming up in May called It's All Talk, and this is a track from it. It's called Window Pane. It's very fun. Apparently, according to the band, it is a song about the feeling of that normal life, cleaning your car on Sunday, keeping up appearances with your neighbour, doing the same routine week in, week out. You can see it isn't for you and that you don't want to end up like everybody else. God, this is a long quote, isn't it? Alfie, if you're listening, you know, nice. Actually, to be fair, this isn't even Alfie's fault. Stephen, the editor of Dork, you didn't have to use the whole quote, mate. Pick something punchy. Don't worry, he doesn't listen to these. Alfie, lovely quote. Stephen, could I with some editing for the news story I'm currently reading?
Don't put in everything that Alfie says.
No, like if it's an interview, you want to let it breathe. But this is just get the hammer it home. Anyway, this is a lovely track, is what I'm getting at. Don't know how that developed
I really
so
enjoy
quickly.
It. Yeah,
And people say I'm the
nice
negative
track,
one.
isn't it? Yeah, it's nice. No, I really like this track. It's really all like stand out. It feels like this is the track that I don't know, kind of like gets Lacuna Common on the map.
Yeah, they've been around for a while,
song.
But they've also
playing
like
shows
the
here
tracks.
and
Thing is, seeing them live has always been great fun, and that's always been like the tracks and the live have been sort of meshed together for me. This is the first one that I've heard where I haven't been able to see it live, and it's really nice to see how well it stands up and how great it sounds on its own. You know, it's sort of
absolutely.
not tied to how much fun they are live. It is completely just standing on its own and really great fun. And I'm really looking forward to this EP.
Yeah, if you haven't obviously heard them before, go check out more about Lacuna Common. They've obviously supported sports team before, so I'm have that experience, if you will, tip on. But yeah, I really like this, and also Alfie's voice. I just want to say, it kind of reminds me of Pete Doherty on this.
Pete Doherty.
That's where that's his
Pete
name.
Doherty.
Beg your pardon.
You mean Pete Doherty?
That how you spell his name? I've been saying it as Doherty the whole. Actually didn't say his name. Is that actually it? I've been saying it as. Is it actually? No, fuck off.
Peter Doherty.
Mate,
Doherty. It's definitely Doherty, isn't it?
As in, maybe I think I took it from DOH being like Doe from The Simpsons. So maybe that's where I kind of got that
isn't
from.
it? So it'd be Doherty.
This
is getting off the point. We actually met Alfie on the sports team Margate trip, and Pete Doherty also lives in Margate. So, coincidence?
There's a connection.
Here is
I think
Window Pane
not.
by Lacuna Common.
What's enormous, it's scraping for rent. Is it spending your weekdays thinking how your weekend will be spent? Cut the grass on Sundays and the weekend begin. Not before the park run office here. Keeping up appearances, fitting the routine, not to the neighbour.
What a great track. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Wonderful.
Have you got
I've got
new
some
music?
I certainly bloody do. Let me talk to you about the return of beabadoobie. Yes, already.
The B movie?
There's no sequel for that, unfortunately.
If only.
Legal wranglings, famously. Beabadoobie
Can't get the same B back because he's dead.
It's like that Marvel movie where they replaced War Machine. It's just
We can't talk about that again.
No, we can't. Beabadoobie's got a brand new track. It's called Last Day on Earth. And it's the first song taken from a new EP called Our Extended Play. And yeah, this is like, obviously, yeah, very quick turnaround, I guess. I mean, like, Beabadoobie's debut album came out, towards the end of, well, not towards the end, it was like, yeah, it was towards the end of last year, wasn't it? Fake It Flowers. Really great album, good fun, and a great debut. And yeah, she's back already with, Our Extended Play, which sees her, I guess, teaming up, if you will, with the 1975's Matty Healy and George Daniel, who has they've co-written and produced the track as well. And you can really, in the best way, you can really tell. Like, you can hear that influence really ringing throughout. Like, it's different from what you heard off that debut album. It's just a really lovely, almost like indie pop song. It's just quite free-spirited, full of just like, I don't know, just really nice like lines here and there. And it's I guess it's a good combination of that kind of heavier stuff that we heard on Fake It Flowers, where B kind of went proper grungy, and some of those really early recordings that B did, like If You Want To, that was more, I don't know, just quite laid back, if you will. Like, I don't know, it's a really nice combination of it all. You can definitely hear the influence of it, but that's what makes it really great. I like the fact that even in this time, you can tell that beabadoobie has grown as an artist. You can hear that on this track. It's not just like, oh, here's another EP, but it's kind of just the stuff we were working on a while back. It's actually
definitely. Like,
a nice extension.
What I'm most excited about is that this could be kind of it for the future. Like, I'm happy to just have really good new music from beabadoobie every few months forever.
Yeah,
because this just sounds like completely new stuff. Like you say, like, this doesn't sound like it's anything to do with the previous album. So I can only assume that, like, this is completely new stuff. And I think most artists would have put this on an album. It's so good. Yeah,
exactly. And also, great chorus, which is all full of like shoop doop doops. And if
of course,
just listen,
yes.
if anyone from the label is listening, which of course I know that Dirty Hit do every single week. Nice to have you back. Have you thought about a shoop dooper doobie t-shirt? I think it'd do quite well. I'd buy one. Would you, Jake?
No, because it doesn't really work as a pun.
Shoop dooper doobie?
No.
Shoop dooper dee?
No.
This is Last Day on Earth by beabadoobie.
I got something to say. I forgot, wait a minute, the world's about to end, so I'm gonna have to finish. I guess if it were nicer, we'd be better off in it. Haven't got a plan, so I think I'm gonna wing it naked alone with this song I wrote, and it goes like this. It goes shoop doo doo, shoop doo doo doo, shoop doo, shoop doo doo, oh yeah, shoop doo, shoop doo doo doo, yeah, 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 shoop doo, shoop doo doo doo, shoop doo, shoop doo doo, oh
See? Shoot, dude.
Shoop doopa dooba dooba doo. They could release a T-shirt for, or maybe just name the album Beabadoobie.
Oh, that's good.
We could be here for hours, and none of them would be good. Let me tell you about more new music.
Yes.
This one is actually from an album, which I think in normal times may well be our album of the week, but obviously that slot is given over to South by Southwest and all of the delights that it holds. The debut album from For Those I Love came out this week. Self-titled, For Those I Love, For Those I Love. The whole album is kind of... It's a weird one. So it's kind of a eulogy for a friend of his that died. So not as much focusing on the death as focusing on the life of the
person.
friend.
Yeah.
And it's got this. It's dancier than you'd expect for that kind of thing. It's got that electronic sound to it. It's not like a sort of post-punky thing. I think it's weird. It's kind of like in the vein of like Burial sort of, and The Streets maybe. It's quite hard to pin down. But the track I've chosen is Birthdays. This isn't some very cheery subject matter throughout this, by the way.
Yes.
So not quite as cheery as Shoop de Shoop D.
No, definitely. No, it's not as Shoop Doopa Doobie as Shoop Doopa Doobie.
The Birthdays is a song about finding a murder victim, basically, when he was a child.
Wow.
This is the thing. I think this is the thing with this album and with this track that is kind of indicative of the album is when you read into it, every review you read of it, and when you read into it sounds really, really grim. And I think there is that aspect to it. And I think a lot of people... a lot of people are like, wow, this album is so emotional and so intense and like a hard listen. But I think what's so great about it is that it's not a hard listen. It's almost more emotional for the fact that it's so good at conveying just sort of the good parts of like this friend's life and that, and then there's always that undercurrent of the tragedy that's there. So it is a tough listen, but it's also an enjoyable one. It's not like you're putting yourself through it. It's not like you're turning on one of those TV shows where you know it's going to be fucking horrible, but it's worthwhile watching it. Like this is an enjoyable listen. It's just sometimes a heavy one.
Yeah, I guess sometimes with albums as well, like you know, they put it out and it's very much let the listener almost, I don't know, like decide the journey, if you will. Like, you know, you put it out and you're like, okay, well, like, you know, what does this mean to me? Each track can mean something very different. Whereas this feels, this album is very much, you know, there is a story behind this album. It is very much there and laid out. And I think what's really great about this album, I guess, is that emotional vulnerability is incredible. But then, like you say as well, the production and the crafting of the song, it's not like it's reliant just on that. Like the songs are just impeccably well put together. And yeah, it's a really, really, really special listen. So I do, obviously any other week we would obviously have this as their album, but yeah, it's a really, really stunning one. And also, it likes to mix tracks together. So obviously, like you say, Birthday is the track we were talking about, but that is also melded with us, The Pain on all listening devices. So it's a nice little blend.
I think also there is, you know, this is one of those ones where I think it can very much speak for itself. If we were to do it album of the week, I think anything you say about it is almost just detracting from it. So with that in mind, I'm just gonna play it. So
I'm just gonna play Birthday / The Pain. And let everyone listen to it.
This is Birthday / The Pain by For Those I Love.
Then you're 9, 10 and 11 in the same place the Garda got you at 7, taking the sides off trains with stones. We did that because we were broke. We did that because we had no hope or a place to go. We did that because we didn't say no 20 years ago. And it still comes out when we get vocal. Singing in the local. A lonely feeling came all me stealing. Some sober as a judge and the other boys out the nut and all of us dancing like there's no one left in the world but us. And these days it feels like there isn't. There's no way to put that loss into words. But we'll wrap arms around shoulders and scream love from our lungs. And we'll escape to Friday football and hugs and tell tales of nights and days spent in teenage fun. Because the world is a cruel, cruel place without the love.
Stunning
spend the
stuff.
rest of our life.
Stunning stuff. Yeah, definitely go check out that album, self-titled, For Those I Love. Out now.
5-star review in Dork as well, with some
Exactly.
very erudite words from Jamie McMillan. Probably summed it up a lot better than we can. So read that.
Read that. Don't listen to us.
No, do listen to
that's
us,
probably-
please. We need the figures, but
wasn't read that.
Yeah.
Don't listen to us. Probably the undertone of the show.
yeah. But keep this on in the background
yeah.
so we still get your listening number.
Yeah, we need it. Anyway, Connie Constance is my next track. First track of the year for Connie. It's called Electric Girl. So Connie's one of those where it's kind of like she's kind of like been working away in various ways over the past few years, and definitely like trying to find her sound as an artist. And it felt like last year, the Butterfly Club EP, which we played Costa del Margate on the show,
We did,
was
yes.
the moment where, for me anyway, I was like, oh, okay, she's like, this sounds like she's got it now. She's got that sound. Sounds like she's just really going for it, having fun with it, and the results are like amazing. And yeah, kind of following on from that, Electric Girl is the next step really. It's quite a wiry track, and that may sound not nice, but I think once you listen to it, you'll get it. It's quite tight, quite, like rough around the edges in places, and I really, really like that. There's this kind of like almost punk intensity underneath it, which is really, really cool. And yeah, the result is just like a really great in your face track, which is just full of confidence. And Connie just seems to be getting better and better. So a real stunning one. It's obviously, this is the first track from another EP that's coming out. So yeah, really excited to see what comes. EP everywhere. You don't see it, but we care. So that's the most important thing.
What?
Anyway,
What does it
Connie
mean?
Constance.
What does any of it
Great
mean?
track. Electric Girl. Also, Connie was brilliant. Was brilliant recently at South by Southwest.
Oh,
What a tie-in! Let's listen. This is Electric Girl by Connie Constance.
And it's a long, cold winter for a summer soon. When your freedom feels like it's under control. Hard to breathe, seasonal anxiety takes a toll. You can't blow the fuse on this electric
A belter. I'm glad that we ended up as some sort of character on some sort of British sitcom.
yeah, it's nice to be in a carry-on film every now and then.
Every now and then.
You don't want to live in one, do you?
No. So this is usually when we have our album of the week, but as we've mentioned multiple times on the show, so we've warned you
Over
enough.
and over and over again. Like a monkey with a miniature symbol.
Exactly. I mean, maybe even a big symbol. But we're going to talk about South by Southwest this week instead. We here at Dork, we sat down in our own abodes and watched through the night. Multiple shows, multiple showcases. Obviously, South by Southwest in 2020 was like the first, I guess, moment where it was like, oh, something's happening here. We can't go to shows.
It was
It's
the
probably
tiny
first-
canary in the coal mine of music.
if you will. So yeah, a year later, obviously, unfortunately, we're still there. Can't get out to Austin, Texas, because of course we were ready to get a amazing tan. I know.
Yes,
I
you
was
and
personally.
me tanning nicely.
Yes,
As I'm sure
famously.
we both do.
Cooking like bacon in a fryer. But instead, we had the virtual version, which we watched online. There was a bunch of showcases, as we mentioned, a bunch of faves, if you will, playing it. I guess, Jake, I guess the virtual experience, obviously it's not, it's not a gig. Let's just get that out of the way first of all. But how did you find it? Did you enjoy the various, like the ability just to jump between showcases and that planning every night? Like,
Yeah, so the
how was it for you?
actual interface was pretty fucking clunky. That was annoying. So like, no, well, so the showcases were there, but it was because all the times were in American time, but then when there was repeats, it wasn't clear what was happening or what was on what channel. So I have seen it done better in that side of it, but I really, I do enjoy the live stream stuff, especially when, as happened a few times at South by Southwest, there was like classic indie stuff on like the first channel, and then the second one was some like Korean showcase, and then the third one was some like New York Latin group, and you're just kind of switching between them, and it's really, really good fun, and because it's live streamed, you watch stuff you wouldn't normally watch. Like if it was just they just went, it's all been uploaded, you just pick the stuff you wanted to watch it, and leave.
Yeah, you wouldn't check anything out, would
because
you?
it's all live, even though it is pre-recorded, you end up watching a load of stuff you wouldn't, and it's really good fun. I would definitely say to anyone that is going to a live stream festival, like go with a few mates, because like I think one of the best things for us was just having that chat running and being like, oh, there's something over on like channel 3 now. And then you say, what's happening here? Like, as if you were at a festival, you know? And again, you're not going to get that just watching, like, sets on YouTube. That's what's fun about it, is everyone's tuned in at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And like you say, you can chat about it. It is kind of like you've still kind of got a bit of that experience, even though it's, it's not obviously the same. But I guess as well, you can maybe catch more things. Obviously they kind of, South by Southwest, it wasn't as, big, I guess, as a program as they usually would have, but then usually you'd have bands playing like 7 times in 3 days, wouldn't you? So it's slightly different in that regard. But what I did like is there was a sense of a show every time stuff was going on, and also the different production was quite interesting. Like, there was like, you had like the Close Encounters Club, which was like this like alien spaceship idea where you travel, and it was like all very nice, like vintagely produced. And saw stuff like Weird Milk and Sorry on there. Sorry were really great.
They were.
Good little... it was almost like a half-hour set. I guess that's the thing as well with the sets. I guess most sets were about, 15 minutes long?
Yeah, which I think, again, like, so it's sort of 3 tracks or so, really does lend itself to that new music discovery thing. I think the live stream festivals, for me, what it's kind of hammered home is how much better we can do at making festivals available. And like when Reading or Glastonbury are broadcast, obviously there's that kind of high production value. Glastonbury especially, they've got the presenters there, they've got all that going on, and the smaller festivals just don't do it because like that's not possible. But I think what this shows is that like there is an appetite for it, and I think if you're a smaller festival, even if you've just got like one fixed camera and like semi-decent quality sound, if you can't go to a festival for whatever reason, like if it's too far away, if you don't have the money, if like festivals aren't enjoyable because you're like, in a wheelchair and you don't enjoy that kind of thing or any of that. Yeah. The live stream option is so much more than just like a poor second. And I think the live stream festivals over the past year have shown that even with pre-recorded sets. So with live stuff, it would just be, it's worthwhile keeping. And I think the best sets over the week, it was 5 days?
5 days,
were the ones that felt close. They were the ones that felt closest to live and the ones that felt furthest away. There was that really, really high production weird stuff that was good fun, and then there was the really kind of scrappy live stuff which was good fun for different reasons. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? You either try and make it seem live or just fully play around with the fact that like you can basically do whatever you want.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, like, because you saw a lot of our, I guess, favourites, if you will, play the stage. We obviously, Baby Queen did an amazing set, of course, friend of the show, who did like an amazing set, which like just feels like she's a star already. Like really properly got involved in a way, like because recording a set can feel a little bit like, oh, I'm doing a session, Whereas Baby Queen, it felt like treated it like, I am on a stage, I'm on a show, I'm going to run around, I'm going to get involved with everything. And she was amazing. But also, like, people like Walt Disco really impressed me. Again, more friends of the show. Like, properly stepping up. Like, they even had a member that was, like, beaming in from, I presume, Glasgow, on a screen. But, like, you could see they really stepped up, like, in this time, which is quite amazing, really, when bearing in mind they're not playing any shows. Do Nothing, another one on the little regulars on the show, were really, really good. I know you enjoyed that show, Jake.
Yeah, but I've already watched it, so it's gone now.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
Buzzard, another favourite. Yeah, there were times you definitely wanted the sets to go on longer. But I think it was definitely a case of like, right, you've got this time frame of an hour, get on with it.
And I think that was actually a really good way of doing it with South by Southwest, was having those showcases. Like, that is a good example of a way of doing these things where, so there was a showcase that had, like, for example, Sorry in it. And it's like, okay, well, it's worth watching all of those acts then, even if I don't know them, because I know there's one there that I like. It almost kind of self-curates, you know?
Yeah.
You've heard really good things about one Korean act, and you end up watching all four, and they're all really good.
Exactly. Yeah, it was really, really good. Another one I was very impressed by, actually. Probably the one I was most impressed by was Phoebe Green, actually, who played on the second night. And, you know, we're big fans of Phoebe. Love Phoebe. But, like seeing her... the last time we saw her live was obviously, like end of 2019, maybe? Early 2020. And the step up is pretty incredible live now. That, obviously... The EP that obviously came out has really kind of, I don't know, just set her up for like massive things. And very impressed by her set. I know it was one that we were very, blown away by. So
definitely,
let's have a listen to one of the tracks that she played during that time, just so you get a little bit of a flavour. And you're basically there in Austin. The barbecue is going, the sun is shining. The Doritos stand is selling Doritos to you. And you're hearing Phoebe Green play Grit.
Take my time, take my attention. There's so many words that I pretend I don't notice that I'm unaware. When he's scanning around to see if I'm there, tell me that you need to go home soon.
A belter indeed.
It sure is.
Sure was. Some great sets as well. I mean, we saw like TV Priest as well, who haven't really been able to play live shows really at all. Like, as in, like they kind of came up during.
Yeah, I mean, props to them for gaining any momentum at a period which seems designed to squash all momentum, you know? Especially for a band like them, who are obviously so geared towards that classic live setup, you know? And they still, that was great. I really, really liked Enola Gay. They were great.
Who are Enola Gay? Who are they?
Don't really know, to be honest. I just tuned in and they were really good. This is the joy of the festival. I think they're Northern Irish, as far as I'm aware. I did do a quick Google afterwards, but just really great sort of, you know, thrashy, post-punky stuff. Almost quite close actually to a sort of Rage Against the Machine vibe, but not sounding like they come from the 90s. They were good fun. The Chats, that was a great set, lasting all of about, 7 or 8 minutes, I think. With a man in a koala outfit in the corner. The Chats was basically everything you would expect from the Chats. That was really good fun. And one that I did really, really enjoy, which I hadn't really listened to before, just happened to tune into, was Nyana Is, who is a rapper. She was born in India and raised in North London, I think, or potentially... Yeah, and she's part of that same collective that Big Pig is in.
Is that the 9/8?
That's the one. Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
So and it was kind of that UK rap stuff, but it's a bit jazzy, I guess, despite me hating jazz. You know, that's probably the word for it. There's some soulful bits in there. It's a real mix of stuff, and I think it's a real example of how healthy UK rap is at the moment, that this kind of experimental stuff is coming through. And I really enjoyed it. I honestly didn't know much about her at all, and I just clicked onto it, and I just loved the whole set.
Immediately. Yeah, great.
So for me, that's definitely, as much as there are loads of downsides to not being able to go to gigs and not being able to go to festivals, and obviously I would jump at the chance to go to it live rather than live streamed. One of the benefits is I probably wouldn't have stood outside for 15-20 minutes queuing to get in to see someone I'd never heard of. I wouldn't have seen these people. Whereas with very little prep, I could just click on, just go through it and be like, oh wow, these guys are great. So this is I'm going to play TNT by Nyana Is, which is one of my favourite sets from the whole festival.
Why
won't cop them scores. Come on. Only the flyest, of course. High above all of my thoughts. Yeah, no. Why you lying for? You won't cop them scores. Come on. Only the flyest, of course. High above all of my thoughts. Yeah, no.
No time to be took, don't give out no deets.
A tune, wonderful stuff. There is a lot more of discovery.
Niana apparently pronounced IZ, not is. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. Niana IZ.
Sorry, everyone. Like Jason Statham all over again.
No, the reason I thought it was was because someone had written a thing that was like Niana is something or other, like a pun. So I can't actually find that now. But after the set, I looked it up and saw that and thought like, oh yeah, classic. And now I'm on another thing and it says like it's pronounced IZ. I'm like, oh god, sorry, sorry, world.
Again.
Whereas Jason Statham was my fault.
There's a lot more about South by Southwest on the Dork website. We the reviews of every single day, all 5 days. Just head there, search for South by Southwest, and you can see our breakdown of loads of different acts that we saw. Sinead
and
O'Brien
I think
also
it
was
kind of because we did sort of 100 words or so on each one, and I think it's just if you are looking for some new music, like I think even doing this each week and finding new tracks, it's very easy for us to kind of get into that rut of like, oh, this band I like's got a new song out, this act I like.
And I'm going to listen to that. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think, if you are looking for some new music, then I think that's a really nice, easy way. There's 5 days there, 100 words on each act, like, get stuck in.
Yeah, and ranging as well from, like, all sorts, like, more of the kind of, like, I guess, indie favourites to acts from Korea, Japan, India, a real mix of a range of things as well. American, a whole range. So basically, dive on in. A whole range to serve up.
Now, speaking of range, how's your vocal range, Jamie?
It's as clear as it's ever going to be, to be honest.
Yeah? You ready to do a theme song?
Yeah, sure thing. It's come to that time, hasn't it?
It has, I believe so. Could you do it? Could you do it sort of like it's sort of the opening to a kids' TV show? I can do a sort of backing if you want.
Yeah, what's the backing going to be?
Okay, we're going to bum 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 bum. Great.
Harrowing, probably for many people. That
put that in the background of me telling the story about the cornflakes, man, and you got nightmare fuel for days. Make a horror movie out of that.
Yeah, cheers for listening, everyone. Nightmare fuel. Pixie's already had nightmares.
There's over 40 other episodes to get through.
Yeah, Pixie's going to have nightmares about the bears and the cows. That's what we managed to do there. So I'm glad we're giving everyone a real wonderful week, as always.
As always.
Bleak.
Now, tweets. Jamie.
Yes.
Jamie. How do you feel about the stars and the planets in the sky?
I'll be honest. I'm not really a starry kind of person. I people believe, astrology, all, do your bits. But my kind of view of the stars is more based around the film Independence Day and the fact there are aliens coming to get us and only Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith can save us. But
yeah, well, that's kind of related to this tweet.
Okay,
Best Coast
great.
have tweeted, just remember the time my ex and I got into an insane fight at a restaurant because he kept trying to tell me astrology wasn't real, lol. Couple of questions there.
Really a passionate
Why
point,
at a restaurant?
Yeah, how did it come up? That's a very good question.
I also think, how do you get to the point where you are having having a meal with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and that hasn't come up before? Because I feel like I personally am not into astrology and would say it isn't real, right?
Yeah,
it doesn't actually work,
said it.
Right? But that would probably come up within 2 or 3 dates with someone who was into it enough to want to argue about it, right?
Because who would have brought it up, I would have thought. So
Well,
if someone was that
presumably,
passionate about it, yeah.
And I
So
think,
it didn't come up until this point.
You You had this, and also I feel like if you brought it up and they were like, "No, I do really believe in it." I mean, this guy's clearly being a dick, right? But if you brought it up, they were like, "I didn't believe in it," repeatedly. That's what gets me. He just kept trying to say it wasn't real, like over the starter. He ordered crab for the starter, and he said, "Well, this would be cancer if astrology was real, but it isn't."
And look, I'm just digging into the crab.
Yeah, I'll have two sea bass for the main, which would be Pisces if it was real, but it isn't. And
I'll have the beef, please.
I'll have the lion. Yeah. I'll have the lion for dessert, please.
Be an absolute dick about it. Like, is this your astrology? Is it? I mean, yeah, but I love the fact that an insane fight.
What's your star sign?
My star sign. I am Pisces, so the fish.
Oh, nice.
What about you, Jake?
I'm Cancer.
Oh.
You know, my granddad was actually a Cancer, which is ironic because of how he died. He was eaten by a giant crab.
Fuck's sake. We were really on a line there.
You know me. Like to chase those ratings. I'm a real shock jock, you know. Me and Russ Limbaugh.
Shock jock. You and Howard Stern.
Exactly.
Over here.
Me and Howard Stern are going to sit back now and listen to Boyfriend by Best Coast.
That is an absolute tune. Like
it is.
You know, it's like you just like don't listen to it for a while, and you're like, oh fuck.
It's one for the ages. It really is.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff from Best Coast. I have another tweet for us.
Oh, thank God.
Second tweet, the tweets of the week. This one is from Big Pig, who we mentioned earlier, around 9/8. Big Pig has tweeted, "I kind of want to fight though. Like, I don't know why, but the rage is so real."
No, we've all been there.
We've all been there, you know. Fighting. I don't know about you, Jake, but fighting is not really my forte.
You've lost every fight you've ever had, haven't you?
No. Let me just clarify this for I'm sure the boxing promoters are listening in. Just want to clarify, if you are interested, that 100% record.
100% losses. Yeah.
Fights. One fight, one win.
How old are you?
About 12.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's translatable skill.
Well, it counts though, doesn't it? Like if I was handy at 12.
So basically what you're saying is you beat a child up.
I was a child.
Yes,
though.
but you did beat up a child.
Yeah, but
Jamie Muir has only ever had one fight, and he kicked the shit out of a kid.
I actually threw him over my shoulders, I think you'll find.
Jamie Muir throwing children around.
It was more like professional wrestling than a boxing match, I suppose.
Right. They don't wrestle children, Jamie.
No. I threw this guy.
This guy? Oh, now he's a guy, is he?
Well, yeah.
Not just a child. An innocent babe in arms.
Whenever a fight kicks off somewhere, I'm more of the person at the side who's like, ooh. Do you know what I mean?
You don't see many fights when you're an adult, do you?
No, not really.
I saw
a fight when you're
once.
like 18. Like 18 to 20, that's when you see a few fights going on.
Yeah. I saw a fight once outside a pub, and it always gets me. Well, it stuck with me like, you know when you watch a film and you see a fight? Obviously, it's got all the sound effects added, which you don't really clock that you've internalised until you see a real fight. And it's just two men like panting and grunting. There's not really any more noise than that.
It's kind of just like that. It's like
and then you can just hear Yeah, that was a weird one. So yeah, that was for me. Like, I think fighting in everyone's minds is like Captain America, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but in real life, it's actually more like a pig trying to climb a set of stairs.
Yeah. It's like marble stairs where it's just like
just scraping around, grunting, occasional slap as he hits the side.
God, have you ever had to diffuse a fight, Jake? I feel like you could be a good pacifier because you mentioned a story about a fucking cornflake-headed man, and they'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I think I must be quite good at diffusing fights because I feel like I'm annoying enough that if I wasn't, I'd definitely have been punched in the face. I haven't been punched in the face in my life.
You never quite got to that.
You know what I mean? It makes me feel like maybe I am quite good at diffusing them because I feel like otherwise I would be the subject of quite a few of them. Don't know. Could be wrong.
You're like, I probably deserved a few punches in the face.
I think the best thing to do, if someone's going to punch you, or if it looks like a fight's going to kick off, is if you stand up and you say, all right, we're all beefy boys with big beefy hands here, but let's have a drink, you know? Because I think that's so insane that it would probably stop people. Like, and even if they did fight, they'd feel a bit silly about it, wouldn't they? Like,
no, but they'd do the line of, he's not worth it. It's not worth it. He's not worth
being a big beefy boy over.
With beefy hands in a beefy world. Now, this is a story.
I think as a kid you expect fights to play a lot more of a part in your life than they do as well.
Yeah, you're definitely, when you watch films, you're like, oh, well, I'll have to fight.
And in the
playground. I have to
playground.
scrap for the job. You know, in the playground, that's true.
So you're in the playground and you're watching films and you're like, all right, well, at some point I'm going to have to fight. But I think if someone challenged me to a fight, I'd just be like, no.
I think
and then at that point, like, what's the next step for them?
I think my line would be just grow up.
Exactly. But like, also, I don't have like any pride. So if someone was like, I'm going to punch you in the face unless you get on your knees and apologise, I'd be down there. Because in my mind, I'm like, this is better than being punched in the face.
I think I'd probably try and end up, I don't know, weaving a story. I'd be like, well, you know, what is fighting?
Actually, back out the
bit
door.
much. Yeah, fighting's a bit much, but then it's going to be... And then I'm gone. Gone, Jake.
Are you leaving us with the track as you leave? Or
I certainly will. What I'll do is I'll be like, yeah, just a quick one. How about you listen to Big Pig's Feels Right? And I'll click play. And then the fight will be diffused at the end. So this is Feels Right by Big Pig. Fight over.
One done.
We're peacemakers over here at Downward
We are.
Boring.
In the real sense of the word. Not in the sort of UN men with guns type.
Yeah.
That's it, I think.
Yeah. Come to the end of another incredible show.
It was incredible in the neutral sense of the word. It is incredible that it happened.
Thanks to Pixey for stopping by.
Yes, that was wonderful.
Legend, of course, it was a wonderful moment.
And thanks to you, Jamie.
Well, thanks to you, Jake.
That's nice.
And another shout out to Black Honey for a top 10 album.
And for inviting us aboard. A wonderful time. Jamie, have you got any predictions for the next week?
Yeah. I mean, next week is starting to heat up a bit. I reckon that your mate Mez from Life is actually going to see, and obviously you can listen to Mez's Sunday service every
Mez's Sunday lunch. Sunday service
lunch.
is Jarvis Cocker on Six Music, which is a far inferior show.
Who's Jarvis Cocker?
Exactly. I think he was in Blur.
Yeah, something like that. I reckon he's going to see a gap in the hairdressing game because obviously everyone needs a trim at this moment. Everyone needs their hair sorting. And I reckon he'll see an envision in that. And as a part of Life's next album campaign, he will go around to people's houses and start cutting their hair off.
Oh, okay.
A new vocation, if you will.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. What about you, Jake? What do you think might happen over
I
this?
think we're all going to wake up one morning and just collectively be like, oh, fuck wearing shoes, right? Yeah, and then instead of shoes, we're just going to have, like, the pavement as, like, the material of what the sole of a shoe is. So, like, you don't have to wear shoes. You just go out and there's, like, a, you know, one big shoe on the pavement, and you can just go out barefoot.
So just doing away with shoes is your next
Yeah,
week
or
prediction.
kind of making
Is that correct?
shoes big, you know, big in public.
I do think shoes are more of a service than a style, but that's just me.
There you go. So yeah, that's
There you
it. I
go.
think for another week. Thank you very much for listening. We are not worthy of your continued patriation. Is that how you say it?
Loyalty.
Loyalty. Why not? Hey, patronage.
Also,
patronage.
Yeah. Also, we're not worthy of your mistakes, which are listening to this show. We're not worthy of that either.
Yeah,
so.
all of that and more. So yeah, that's it for another week. We'll be back next week. And for anyone with a headache, the store brand of paracetamol and ibuprofen are literally exactly the same as expensive brand names. So 20p, you get the exact same ibuprofen as you would spending like £4 or £5 for Nurofen. So don't be a mug.